We're going to look at how to subtract, multiply, and divide decimals. So they all have different rules. So for addition or subtraction, they follow the same rule. So the most important thing is to line up the decimal point. So that way we will guarantee we add or subtract the ones and ones, tenths and tenths, and hundredths and hundredths. So after we line up the decimal point, we're going to just either add or subtract. So for example, 5 minus nothing or 5 minus 0, that gives us 5. And 5 minus 5, that gives us 0. And then bring down the decimal point, and then 4 minus 2 gives us 2. So the answer is 2.05. Now to do multiplication, we don't need to line up the decimal point. But what we do is we first ignore the decimal point. We're just going to multiply them like the whole numbers. For example, here 455 times 25. So we first multiply 5 with 455. So 5 times 5 is 25. And 5 times 5 is 25 plus 2, that's 27. And then 4 times 5 is 20, and 20 plus 2 is 22. So after we're done multiplying 5 with 455, we're going to multiply that 2, and precisely that should be 20. Again, this 2 doesn't mean 2, it means the place value of 2 is 2 tenths, which means 20. So since we're multiplying 20 with 455, so first of all, we're going to bring down that 0, and so that's the how many tens, and then we're going to multiply 2 and 5, that's 10, and then 2 and 5, that's 10. 10 plus 1 is 11, and then 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So after we multiply the ones digit and the tens digit with both with 455, we're going to add them and the digits. So we got 5, 7, 3, and 11. Now this is the answer for 455 times 25. In order to get the answer to the original problem with the decimals, we're going to put the decimal point back. Where do we put it? We will need to count the total number of decimal places in both numbers, which is 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to place the decimal point in the right here, because we had 2 decimal places plus 1, that's total 3 decimal places. So in the answer, we should also have 3 decimal places. Now next, we're going to look at division. So to do division, first step, we are going to turn the divisor into a whole number by moving so we turn this to a whole number. And in order to turn 2.5 to a whole number, we move the decimal point to the right 1 place, and we have to do the same thing to the dividend. So that after we do that, we get 45.5 divided by 25. And the answer of this division will be the same as the original, because we increased both number 10 times. So after division, we still get the answer to the original problem. So when we set up a long division, 45.5 divided by 25. And now we're gonna do does McDonald's sell burgers? So we do division, multiplication, subtraction, and bring down. So first, 25 does not go into 4, so we put it 0 times. And 25 goes into 45 1 time, because when we do 45 divided by 25, it's roughly 1 point something, so it's roughly 1. And we're going to do multiplication. So we take 1 times that 25, that gives us 25. And we line up 25 and 45, and we do subtraction, and which gives us 20. So now we're going to bring down the next digit. B means bring down, and continue the division, multiplication, subtraction process. So 25 goes into 205. We can try 9 times, but it might be too big, because 5 times 9 is 45, and 2 times 9 is 18, but 18 plus 4 gives us 225, so that's too big. So let's reduce 9 down to 8. So 25 times 8, again, 5 times 8 is 40, 2 times 8, 16. 16 plus 4 is 200. So we do subtraction, get 5. And we're running out of digits, but we can add a 0 and bring it down. Now 25 goes into 52 times. Now, one important thing is in the answer, we also need to make sure the decimal point lines up in the quotient. This is our quotient. The answer is the decimal point in the quotient lines up with the decimal point in the dividend. So the answer will be 1.82. And that 0 doesn't really do anything, so we can get rid of it. So these three operations for decimals are totally different. So for division, first we have to turn the divisor into a whole number and then do long division. For multiplication, we ignore the decimal points first and then multiply them like whole numbers and then put the decimal point back. For addition subtraction, these are the easiest. We just line up the decimal point, add or subtract like whole numbers. And of course, we also line up the decimal point in the answer.